So that completes the cycle in deep detail. Let's move on to step 3 in the 4 steps to success. The lessons I learned all came into play for day 2. The reasons why I haven't been talking about day 2 a lot was because all of day 2 reflected my lessons learned. I learned from day 1 that not every member is going to be outgoing, confident, and is willing enough than I thought they would be. So referring back to the lobby part right before the doors opened, how I mentioned before when I was saying that there was no feedback needed, it did seem that everyone knew exactly what they were doing, where to go, and what to say. It was way more smoother than day 1 because everything was so familiar to everyone. Also, there were maybe about half the people on day 2 than the previous day, so it went smoother, obviously. The small improvements I made was placing a few members to hold the door open to people that were entering the theater after doing a walkthrough in the lobby. The reason why I did that was because I noticed that the guests were only assuming that those doors led to the theater, but it just seemed more appropriate for the club members to open the door for the guests just to make them feel more welcomed. Also, I pushed the Candygram girls into trying to get more people to donate a Candygram to whomever they came to watch the show for. As for the Before I Die chalkboard, um, since it was mostly filled out, I learned that people seemed to already know what to do because they visually understood just by seeing that it was almost 3/4 completed already. All I had to do was just relax, greet guests, and make sure I answered any questions that anyone had for me. For the respect aspect of it, I felt like since I already warmed up to the club members, I felt more welcomed, definitely more welcomed, and more of a leader figure in day 2. I felt like I transferred from a leader to a coach. Day 2 was more of a let them do their own job type of thing, and if anything comes up, then I'll just come in and I'll help them along the way. I sensed sort of a trust factor because I gained that from day 1. When the line started to form, I had a really great feeling that things were going to go so smoothly. People started grabbing the pre-plated plates we already had, and as that was going on, I still had club members continue pre-plating so that way things would stay consistent. As you can see in this really short video clip, before you know it, the line died down and we just had enough food to feed every single person, as well as some extra desserts left for people who were still looking for, leftovers, and that was an awesome, awesome feeling. I was extremely happy, as you can see on the bottom picture, was me with the leftover desserts. I was really proud that the traditional way worked once again. It just never seems to fail. The look of relief on the members that were helping out with the food and drinks was so rewarding to me, and it reflected that I definitely learned my lesson from day 1. All I can hear was them yelling, "Oh my gosh, we actually did it!" And I was happy to see people coming back up to look for seconds. But as an overview, due to the lessons learned from day 1, the second day turned out perfect. The lobby went exactly the way I envisioned it, and even though the club members were nervous about going the traditional route of serving food, I had no doubt in my mind that we would have no problems at all. And lastly, the final step to success, step 4, the impact of the experience on me and my leadership philosophy. It was such a great experience to be a part of an event that occurred 2 days. It allowed me to take risks in day 1. As an example, I was really hesitant coming into the theaters for the first time and trying to delegate and make things work. The impacts of my experience on my leadership philosophy, I felt, was to never let the feeling of regret be even just a little part of the result. When I mean regret, to be honest, I regretted allowing that lead member to get her way of serving food the cafeteria style. I remember in that particular moment, when she said that she wanted to do it her way, I told her the traditional way would be a for sure thing that would work because I've done it for the past years that I've been a part of PCN. Though she just kept insisting her way, and since it was not my place to argue, I gave in, and even though I knew that no matter what, there was always a second chance if her way didn't work out. The impact that had on me was that it showed me that sometimes there won't be a second chance. And if there isn't, for future moments that are similar, I need to force myself to come out of my comfort zone. I need to really say what's on my mind and to not be afraid to argue my points in order to get my way. Another impact that this experience had on me was that, other than being a shift manager in my own work experience, I've never had the chance to be a leader figure of an event. Day one, I would say I was more shy and hesitant because I didn't know exactly how things would play out, or if people would actually listen to me. I slowly worked on working my way up to be seen as this leadership figure. Learning my lessons in day two, the impact that had on me was that my weaknesses inspired me to work harder at voicing out my thoughts more, so that way things will get done faster, and that way people will trust me a lot more. But the biggest impact that it had on my leadership philosophy was that I reassured myself that there is a particular style that I liked to use when I work. This leadership style I picked up from my own work experience helped a lot and allowed me to understand more about myself and about my work ethics. During this experience, I knew I needed a way to gain respect, a way to make sure that I would set myself up and have the club members feel comfortable around me so that I can do my job as a leader, not just someone who left things magically happen. The skill that I realized that I picked up from my own work experience was the fact that I love to work side by side with people. It makes them seem like I'm empowering them to show me that they can do exactly what I'm teaching them to do. I mean, of course, I still lead by example, but I realize that as a leader, if I make it seem like people are working with me and helping me reach the goal that I envisioned, it makes them feel more engaged, rather than making it seem like they're working for me and me being, you do this, you do that, type of things. But from now on, I will always use that skill in order to gain respect and to make people feel that they would love to work under my wings. To bring this leadership project to an end, I've learned an extensive amount about the aspects on how to be a leader. I learned a lot about myself as well as how big of an impact I can have by just being a leader figure and to stay committed and engaged throughout the whole process. I myself got to write on the Before I Die wall, as you can see myself writing there, and I was able to watch the second half of the show after intermission. So, this is the hip-hop finale that I was talking about earlier that they do every year at the end of the show that I'm going to leave you here with. And I want to thank you for sticking with me through this leadership journey to success. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. So thank you so much.